Okay, hi guys. I'm going to try making a poutine gravy. And typically when I make a gravy, I'll often put like mushrooms and stuff and just some onions and kind of just do it on the fly. But I'm going to try doing something a little different today. I'm going to try using sort of a poutine gravy recipe without actually using the poutine gravy recipe because I don't have everything you'd use in there. So I'm going to put... Plus I want to give you guys a real recipe. So this is, I'm going to be putting 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. Okay. Maybe it's like 2 and a little extra probably. And let me just get something here. I'm just going to melt that in your pan. Okay. Once that's melted, put a 1/4 cup of flour into your pan. Okay. Now I have the stove on kind of a medium-high heat. You want to mix up the butter and the flour. Now other recipes that I saw called for more butter. I'm not trying to do more. I'm not trying to make a whole load. I guess you could always make more and then save it for later, right? Now I'm going to put veggie broth in here. So right now I'm going to put a cup of veggie broth. Okay, because obviously I'm not using any sort of beef broth at all. So I've got a cup of veggie broth in here. I'm just going to mix this up. Now because I put a 1/4 cup, I didn't mean to put the full 1/4 cup of flour, so I think I actually have to add, I guess I'm making the whole recipe that, I'm making a little bigger quantity of this than I planned. That's too much flour for this, so I'm going to put another cup. Just don't need it to be too thick. Maybe I'm not putting the full cup yet. Let's just see about that. Okay, for right now, I'm not putting the full cup. So let's just say that's 1.5 cups right now. Might lower the heat. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is add some of my veggie chicken stock. Actually, I'm just going to put another, like 1/2 teaspoon of butter. I think a proper poutine recipe also calls for beer. I actually have a bottle of beer that's been in my fridge forever because I don't drink beer, but it's more for if someone comes over. So I don't think I'm going to open it just for one little bit of this. Okay, so this might be too thick, but that's what I got, guys. All right, so I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. Sorry, 2 teaspoons, if I can get this all out. That's like half. I can't get all of it right here. 2 teaspoons of vegan chicken stock. I get that at my local bulk barn store. You also need, for me, I'm going to add a teaspoon of soy sauce. It's going to give it its rich color. That's a little bit more than a teaspoon. That's okay. Mix that up. See, the color's already changing. Okay, it's looking good. And that's a mushroom soy sauce. So I think it's got like some hint of flavors to mushroom, because one of the things I typically like to do is saute some mushrooms, or you could like blend up completely some mushrooms and add to this. But not doing that today. Okay, so I'm going to also put, let's do half a teaspoon of garlic. Okay. Half a teaspoon of garlic. I just have a minced garlic back here. I should probably put the stove a little bit lower. One of the things I believe it said in one of the recipes I saw was balsamic vinegar. But let me just taste this. I'm going to just taste how this is. Pretty good already. Ketchup. I'm measuring everything out here to be good for you guys because it's not always that easy. Sometimes I just like to add stuff and go. Here's a tablespoon of ketchup. There's still a little bit of butter left in there. Okay. Tablespoon of ketchup. What I like about that soy sauce as well as the sort of hint of mushroom flavor in it, it's a darker soy sauce, so it gives it a darker color for sure. Okay, and I think I'm going to put that little bit of balsamic vinegar. I have aged balsamic here because that tasted just a little, what's the word? Salty. So I'm going to just put a little bit just to see if we add up. Like I said, looks like you can add beer to the actual recipe if you want, at least that's one of the recipes I saw. I'm making my own. I probably could have put a little bit of oregano in here. Alright guys, I'm going to taste this. Too much ketchup? The ketchup really changed the dynamic of that. I probably would not put quite as much ketchup next time. But I think it's fairly good. I think I don't want to add anything else except I'm going to add, and I'm just doing a couple sprigs. I'd say that's like a quarter teaspoon of, okay, I think that's about a quarter teaspoon of oregano I've just added. There we go. Mix, 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 mix. Okay, it's nice and thick. If it's too thin, you can always add more stock to that. Okay, I'm gonna put a bit more on my palm here. There's something I don't like. I don't hate, but I think I'm going to put another half teaspoon of the soy sauce. Gosh, this pours out so quickly. I think I don't like as much of the ketchup in there, even though maybe with the ketchup and other things in the recipe, it works out with the beer, but for this, it just made it slightly, I can't believe that much ketchup changed the taste. It's not awful, it's just not quite how I liked it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add, since it's just slightly thick, which is okay, I'm just going to add, that's maybe like a tablespoon of stock. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm going to, I like the color. If you have onion powder or stuff like that you want to put in here, you can. I put garlic. Let me just see if I want to add anything else. Putting more in the palm of my hand here. That tastes pretty good. That tastes pretty good. Okay, the whole stove is a mess. Well, not fully, but that side of the stove is a mess. I'm going to get the poutine ready. I'm going to be using some of the chow cheese, and I'll be back. Alright, so I have some fries in a bowl here. I've got a slice of the chow cheese, the original, creamy original. Just putting putting some onto the fries, putting a bit more of the fries. I'm going to put a bit more of the cheese. Now I think you saw me make this cheese sauce, but my daughter wanted just this today, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so just gonna pour it all, well, not all of it. I'm gonna pour it on. Actually, let me get a spoon. That way I don't risk any major disasters. So you can spoon the hot gravy onto your fries, and that way it will help also to melt the cheese, of course. You could probably even add cheese on top. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that. Because that was not a full slice I used. Let's just, it's not a lot here. I often break off parts of the cheese and don't have a full slice. I just try to savor it because it is kind of pricey. So if I just want to eat a little bit, that's what I do. Okay, there's the poutine. I'm just going to taste my final test of this poutine gravy. And that's pretty good. Definitely pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's got a hint of the sweetness from the ketchup. Maybe I'd put half a teaspoon of the ketchup next time. But it's really up to you if you don't mind the sweetness. I think it's fine. The extra soy sauce really balanced that out. And there you go. Poutine gravy, and I guess I should do the old taste test with one of the fries right here. I think my daughter's going to like this, but I will get her, it's delicious. I'll get her feedback and I'll tell you in a moment.